let's start things off here with the women's elimination chamber. Naomi and Liv start things off here, and the big event, well, the other big event coming out of this show is before the match begins, Jade Cargill's music hits. And immediately she makes a beeline for the cage. Liv acts scared, of course, but Jade instead comes in and attacks Naomi. She just goes on to destroy her and sends her repeatedly through the bulletproof plexiglass of the chamber pods, delivers a big jumping kick to Naomi through one of the chambers. And this time, Bianca Belair is just locked inside her chamber, yelling and crying hysterically the whole time. Naomi crawls out of the cage and Jade slams the door into her before leaving. This, of course, eliminates Naomi from the match and at least tells us, at least from Jade's perspective, who she thinks her attacker is. Your thoughts on the big angle to start this match?
I thought it was well done. Like Jade came out and they used her effectively. I thought the beatdown looked vicious. Particularly that ode to the Freebirds Von Erichs with the cage spot at the end. And I loved Bianca's selling of this moment, as you mentioned, where it's like her two besties. We the big three, and they're fighting each other, and Jade is just brutalizing her friend, and so. We talked about this all the time on the NWA podcast. Like the simplest route for this storyline was always Naomi was the person that attacked Jade Cargill. The question now is, was Bianca an accomplice in that, or is Bianca now caught between her two friends? And I think for the short term, Bianca's going to be in that role in between the two friends. I'd be interested, though, to see if they pull the trigger and turn both Bianca and Naomi, because I think that could be fascinating.
I thought it was really excellently done the way this was. I mean, I don't think it, like you said, it doesn't completely reveal the storyline yet. So I think at this point, maybe we could safely say Naomi was definitely involved, but it's not definite, could Jade be mistaken somehow? Did somebody frame Naomi? That's not completely out of the question. There's still a lot to be revealed. Was Bianca Belair attached to it as well? In either case, we had a major storyline event to kick off this match. And what do you think at this point the Mania direction is, if you had to take a guess at this point?
I mean, I would say not Bianca, because Bianca's got Rhea on her hands. Sorry, EO. We know how it's going to play out on Monday night. But I feel like you got Naomi and Jade. I like it, but it almost feels like I might hold off on that until after Mania. Because Mania is going to be so packed, and I think that's a good feud, but it's not a Mania level feud, and I don't think they have enough time to make it into a Mania level feud. And I'd rather it be after Mania, where it can get its own kind of platform, than getting lost in the shuffle over those two nights.
Yeah. Well, spoiler alert: Bianca Belair wins this one, so she's advancing, and I have to imagine Jade will somehow still be involved, attached to all of that as well. So we shall see. Let's go to the actual match itself. So it starts off here now with Belair and Liv, and Belair, she's coming out. She's still hysterical about what she just watched. So Belair immediately wants to leave the match to check on Naomi, but with the door locked, Liv attacks her and drags her back into the match. After which she becomes a pretty active participant. And the third person in the ring is Roxanne Perez, followed by Bayley and then Alexa Bliss. And then no eliminations until everybody's in the ring. But the first one comes as Bayley is distracted by Roxanne. When Liv comes in, hits the Oblivion and eliminates Bayley. Belair then chases Liv on top of the chamber. She uses her hair to whip Liv back down, creating a huge smack and a huge welt onto Liv's stomach. Then delivers a high cross off the chamber onto her. Roxanne is next to be eliminated when she eats a codebreaker, followed by a Twisted Bliss. Alexa then hits the Sister Abigail DDT to Belair, but gets rolled up by Liv in the immediate aftermath, so Liv eliminates Alexa. Belair and Liv are your final two. And at this point, Liv uses Belair's braid to basically yo-yo her between the rope and the fence. Belair comes back hitting a 450, but Liv gets her knees up. Belair avoids Oblivion, but Morgan avoids the KOD and then hits the Codebreaker. Belair again avoids the Oblivion and then hits the KOD to get the victory. So we have Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Your thoughts on the Elimination Chamber match itself as well as the result?
I thought it was a good opener. I think that, this match serves many different purposes. Obviously you talked about continuing the Jade Cargill story. We've got that part of the story. I think Roxanne Perez, this was a very good outing for Roxanne. And maybe for a lot of folks, this is the first real chance they've had to see her. She did her thing in the Rumble, but the Rumble's a different kind of match. versus this chamber match where you can kind of see more of what she brings to the table. Liv played her part. I really liked again, what's one of the things I always love about Bianca's matches, how they incorporate the braid into it. And just how different people approach the braid, where Liv and others on the heel side are actively using that against Bianca. Bayley caught the braid at one point and was like, oh, my bad. Like that's too far. I went too far. But Bianca winning was not a surprise to me, though. I think that was, to me, out of all the women they had in there, the smart choice to go against Rhea Ripley. It wasn't going to be Liv, because we just had that for like 7-8 months. And so this is a match that I'm very excited for. I think Bianca and Rhea can tear it up. I'm intrigued as to if Jade plays into that match, if Naomi plays into that match. But yeah, this was a good match, a good opener for the show. And I think that it's always tough kind of trying to plot out these cards. Maybe not so much this show, because we knew where we were ultimately ended at the end of the episode, or the end of the card. But I think this match, and there's another match on this show, if this were another Elimination Chamber way, they could have closed the show with that.
Certainly.
Just because of how strong it was. So yeah, congratulations to all the women. They put the work in, and Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, it's gonna go crazy. It's gonna feed generations, as the kids say, Wait.
Yeah. Of the options, certainly in the aftermath of the Jade attack, I think Belair represents the most interesting, person to take on Rhea Ripley. Not only should the match be awesome, but Belair is arguably involved in the hottest women's program right now with this Jade attack. Certainly at this point, I'm comfortable in saying it's the hottest women's program in the company right now. And at the moment she's a babyface, but with the story, I think a heel turn is very possible. So a heel Belair versus a babyface Rhea is very easy to sell. And by putting Belair into the title picture, you're also presumably elevating Jade into that title picture as well. So I'm anticipating if those, if that's how things are going to play out. Like a Rhea Jade team up against Naomi and Belair should be awesome. So man, this really sets all of those things in motion.
And it's a good way to still kind of bring Jade along slowly, but still keep the focus on her.
Absolutely. And the star power is immense. Now, I hope Naomi coming out of all of this isn't just forgotten, because I think they've done such a great job for her. I've heard you guys talk about, potential Naomi heel turn. This might be the thing that really kind of takes her to that next level.
Yeah, and I think she's got it in her. A lot of folks have forgotten about this, but I will never forget about Team Bad Way back in the day with Naomi, Sasha, and Tamina. Like, they did their thing as heels, and I think that the intriguing prospect of a heel Bianca and a heel Naomi, like that could be some fun content. So yeah, I'm here for it.
Yep. R.I.P. the big three. Yeah. Very satisfying chamber match, and of course, a very significant storyline payoff here at the end. So afterwards, Belair and Rhea stand face to face at the ramp, but Io Sky walks in to remind us that she's got a match with Rhea on Monday. So I mean that very unlikely to beat Rhea, but is a three-way a possibility? I mean, you can't write anything off.
It's a possibility. I just and we love Io. Like, Io's awesome, but it's like, yeah, that's a match you could put on Raw or anything like that, and it'd be a huge main event. For Mania, though, like, first time in that setting, it's got to be one-on-one.
If you like this video, consider joining our Patreon, the Post Wrestling Cafe. Multiple bonus podcasts every week, ad-free shows, and access to our full archive. Otherwise, a like and subscribe is much appreciated. Thank you for watching.